Evening, Space Monkeys. Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm your host, Robert Durden, and tonight I'm going to be taking a swing at Ilhan Omar. So if you like Ilhan Omar, I would turn this off right now because I'm going to rip her a new one, and you're not going to like her very much at the end of this episode. So I want to refer you guys to an article on Common Dreams about how there was the head of the police union in Chicago. His name is John Catanzara. He was talking about on CNN that the shooting of Adam Toledo by the officer, shooting him in the chest once, was 100% justified, and he even called the officer heroic. He also went on to say something like he showed, restraint in that he only shot once instead of shooting multiple times, and that he absolutely should have shot at the kid because he was running away. That's all bogus, and of course he's taking an enormous amount of flack, John Catanzara. So he should. But what I really want to talk about is Ilhan Omar's response to this and why it's so frustrating and it's so indicative of exactly what she and AOC in particular do, which makes them absolutely ineffectual legislators, even though they're basically celebrities. So when she saw this on CNN, and I believe it was on CNN, anyway, she tweeted, "The problem is systemic and it requires systemic solutions." And I like that tweet. It's okay, but here's the thing, man. It's the least she can do, and it's always the least that they can do, AOC and Ilhan Omar. They always tweet so well and tweet correctly, but then they absolutely go on to do nothing about it. Now, if you were a smart congresswoman, she represents the 5th District of Minnesota. Follow me here, guys. Minneapolis and St. Paul are in the 5th District of Minnesota. In a district where you hold so much sway as the congressperson, and the Minneapolis Police Department, they've been in the news recently, haven't they, for police brutality? Oh, that's right. All of these different people are getting fucked up by the Minneapolis Police Department. Philando Castile was killed in his car in front of his girlfriend and his daughter, shot multiple times in 2016. George Floyd, and recently Daunte Wright. Those are all Minneapolis Police Department police brutality incidents in the last 4 years, 5 years, and there's way more than that. This is one of the most brutal police departments in the country. If only there were a way that maybe she could get some change in that police department. She's only the congressperson for the district. All she would really have to do is put down the phone for a second, stop tweeting so fucking much, and give a call to the mayor or maybe the chief of police and be like, listen, I'm an overwhelmingly popular congressperson. I'm basically a celebrity. I can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. So we're going to move towards defunding the police or abolishing the police entirely in this district, and that includes the Minneapolis Police Department. You can either get on board and we can take steps to getting that done, or I'm going to drag you. Because I'm running on Defund the Police, and I have all the evidence I need. It's on the body cams right now. You saw what happened to George Floyd. We all know what happened to Philando Castile, and there's at least 10 others that I didn't mention. Not all of them have been while she was in office, but at least 4 have been since Ilhan Omar was in office, and yet she never uses this, the fervor, the anger built up by this stuff, to actually impose her will and get something done. She'd rather tweet at this union guy, John Catanzara, who nobody fucking knows and everybody knows he's an idiot anyways. It's indicative of everything that the squad is. They're all bark, no bite. There's no strategy involved in any of this stuff. And if you were a smart congressperson, if I were Ilhan Omar, and I had basically a celebrity status in a district where there was an overly brutal police department, I wouldn't be tweeting at people so much. I'd be going and making calls to the mayor. I'd be making calls to the chief of police and all the higher ups around there, and I'm going to be like, listen, I'm going to now, because I've seen what's happening with your department, I'm now running on Defund the Police whether you like it or not. So either you can get out of the way, get on board with me, or I'm going to trounce you. And you'll get what you want, because everybody that sees this shit understands that the Minneapolis Police Department is a bunch of animals. So it's like an 80-20 issue. It's going to be easy, especially with how popular she is. But she doesn't do that. I don't know if she's stupid or if she's nefarious. I tend to think she's just kind of nefarious and doesn't really give a damn to get these things done. It behoves her to make a career of this and tweet and do it incrementally over the next 30 or 40 years and not actually flex any muscle and try to do things, by moving her way up through the Democratic Party like AOC seems to be trying to do now. So this is super annoying. And just real quickly here, I'm going to read to you the other people that have been killed since she's been in office. Let's see here. There was Travis Jordan, November 9th, 2018. Minneapolis police were asked to perform a welfare check on him. A woman called 911 and said Jordan was acting strangely and might be suicidal. When officers arrived at his home, they say he refused to come out. Several minutes later, he came out the front door with a knife and confronted the officers. They fired their weapons and killed him. That happened while she was in office. She didn't use the incident to push for reform at all. She didn't force the mayor. Now, recently, his name is Jacob Frey, I think his name is. His last name is Frey. He's the mayor of Minneapolis. He's like a pretty progressive looking guy. I didn't know anything about him until today. He'll listen to you. He even was the one that forced all of the Minneapolis Police Department to wear body cameras in 2018. So he's up for reform already. Just strong-arm the guy a little bit. He probably won't even need that much convincing. He seems to be on the progressive side anyway. So push for defund the police. Stop talking about things on Twitter. Actually use your power and your near celebrity status to push things and get things done. I hate the squad because they have so much power and they refuse to use it. It's so annoying. And Ilhan Omar, calling Nancy Pelosi Auntie Nancy, she's on my shit list on the same level as AOC right now. I can't stand Ilhan Omar with what she's doing right now. But you know what? If she were to actually flex her muscle and get some of these things done, she could make it a model. Reform, defund the Minneapolis Police Department, get this stuff under control, and then maybe it'll be used as a template in other cities across the country, and we can do it city by city basis. But no, you'd rather just tweet, this is a systemic problem. I don't have any solutions. It's just a systemic problem. That's what I'm tweeting about. You're worse than useless. So there's Justine Ruzick Diamond, July 15th, 2017. Rusick called 911 to report sexual assault in her neighborhood. When the officers arrived, she ran out to their squad car to meet them, and according to the court records, that's when the driver, Mohammed Noor, reached across his partner and shot her out the window of his police car and killed her. And then there was one other one this is Jamar Clark. You guys have probably heard of Jamar Clark. He got in a physical confrontation with the cops, and they say that he attempted to grab their holstered weapon, and they shot him, and then he later died at the hospital. And then his family settled with the city of Minneapolis for $200,000. You guys may remember that one. That also happened, let's see here, that was a little bit before Ilhan Omar. But all the other ones that I just mentioned to you, plus, of course, George Floyd and now Dante Wright, have all happened while Ilhan Omar was in office, and she hasn't used any of them. If they're going to be happening, use the media and get the Minneapolis Police Department in some trouble. And then you'll get things reformed. But they're not listening to me. They'd rather be ineffectual. So keep fighting the good fight out there, guys. I'll see you later.